Hello there and welcome to the new channel.
Here to help you see
The new you.
My name is Carmine Ortega.
Dennis Calamba.
This is Nato Agbayani.
My name is Juan Lu.
I'm Chino.
I'm Trisha.
This is Apple Manansala.
This is Attorney Carlo Ibanez.
This is Attorney Sheila Santiago.
This is Angie.
This is Argamit.
My name is Dante Salama.
This is Jesse Francis Rebastillo.
I'm Dania Cunha.
Mon Mendoza.
I am Mapet Erhino.
I'm Leo Bryan.
Mike.
Nice one, dear.
Sir Al Ian Barcelona.
Marvin Salazar. This is Sunny Haldon.
Heidi Lumainos.
This is Ivan Jude.
Patrick Geronimo.
Alan Perez.
My name is Erwin Ursua.
Mine is Bob.
My name is Lloyd Luna and this is
Future.
The Talk.
Family Business.
The Puppet Stories.
After Shift.
PNC Town Hall.
YOLO.
Marketplace.
The Home Buyer.
HR Hotline.
Danny Art Show.
Healthline.
Foreign Affairs.
COVID Stories.
Awesome Day Show.
Thank you.
Money and More.
Cybernext.
Women at Work.
Win Within.
Port Project.
The Big Picture.
Sometimes life lets you down and you feel that you are done. You just want a morning run because the fun is all gone. But sometimes life makes you proud when you look far and wide, when you leave the pain behind and see the brighter side. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you. Sometimes life makes you blind and you choose something bad. You just wanna cry and hide and save your face from the crowd. But sometimes life makes you see the beauty in you and me. When you look up above, there is God and there is love. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new. We're here to help you see the newness of life. We're here to help you feel your hope is so real. You got the power to see. We'll help you see the new you. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you.
New channel. The new channel. The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the new channel. We are here to help you see the new you. My name is Michelle Mras, and this is episode 2 of Mental Shift. Good evening to the United States and to the Philippines. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Tonight, my guest is Don Rochon, and I would like to introduce him right after we show you a copy of his book. Real estate Evolution, the 10-step guide to CPI, consistent and predictable income. And I asked Dan to join me because I accidentally met him at a training that I was doing. He had attended virtually, and he won a time to meet me for about 30 minutes. And I said, we hit it off. And I said, Dan, you are such a fascinating man. I mean, he has this purpose in life to help people achieve their dreams, their greatness. And he doesn't just say it, he actually has steps and mythologies in order for them to follow. And so I said, please come join me on my second episode of Mental Shift. So please welcome Dan Rochon. Well, now we'll welcome Dan Rochon. Dan, where are you? There you are.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Thanks for welcoming me.
Thank you for joining me. I mean, really, you made such an impression on me when I met you on that one call. And I said, the world needs to know more about you and what you do and what you bring to the world. I mean, I know that you have background in neuro-linguistic programming and things like that. And what you may not know is I use neuro-linguistic programming to come back out of my brain injury. So when I saw that in your bio, I thought, wow. One, I would love for you to explain what that is. But first of all, what brought you into neuro-linguistic programming? Because I know your background is in real estate. So what happened? What did you do from real estate and very successful in real estate to writing a book and being in neuro-linguistic programming and neuro-linguistic psychology? I mean, how did that happen?
Well, thank you again, Michelle, for welcoming me. And the gap between real estate sales and entrepreneurship and authoring and study in neuro-linguistic programming actually wasn't that large of a jump for me, because what neuro-linguistic programming is the study of subjective experience. And so what that means is that we all, as human beings, we make the world mean something. And often, or almost always, what we make that world to mean is coming from a basis of our belief system. And we define that belief system early on in our youth, and that belief system, follows us throughout our years. And we spend many years in our life looking for evidence of what we believe in. Mm-hmm. And so that's a general description of what neuro-linguistic programming is. And for me, I just quite frankly just wanted to study the human experience and understand this experience that we all share to the very best that I could possibly, understand it. Because I feel as though if God granted us this gift, and for me to just blindly go through life without paying attention to, like, why am I here? What is this all about? It seemed sort of silly to me. And so that's been a part of my journey to really better understand who, not just who I am as a person, as a being, as a spiritual entity who manifests in this physical existence. And that's really what caused me to want to learn more about neuro-linguistic programming.
Okay. Well, and the other thing about what you've learned with neuro-linguistic programming is it helps you serve the people that you deal with, the people that you work with, the people you serve. And Can you explain maybe how that actually works? Because when people hear neurolinguistic programming, they think, programming? Who's programming who? And so can you explain a little bit more about that? Because neurolinguistic programming, like you just said, it's about the human experience and how we perceive the world. But by using that knowledge, you can help people understand what they're looking for. I mean, maybe that's why you're so successful in the real estate world, because you help people see themselves.
It's really about paying attention. It's really about, so what I teach others when we're talking about communication skills is to be in rapport, then ask adept questions, and then actively listen. And what rapport is a state of connection, connectivity. So like if you can imagine two dancers sort of gliding on the floor, and perhaps they never even had danced together before, yet they're both professionals, they could almost in tune and sync be able to be connected with each other and never even actually physically touch each other because their energy is connected. And so that's a description of two professional dancers, in that case, being connected in rapport. And so when you're communicating with somebody and you start with the intention to be in rapport, there's techniques that you can do to be able to be in that rapport quickly. And then you ask adept questions, and then you actively listen. Now you can get to the root cause of what's causing somebody to do something and why do they want to do it. For example, I sell homes. I'm a real estate agent. This is one of the largest transactions that a person will make in their entire life. And what causes the challenges in my business is not necessarily negotiations that go awry, or not necessarily I can't find a home or I can't find a buyer for my home. What gets in the way is just the human emotions. Yeah. It's just, I'm scared. Okay. And if I can recognize that somebody's fearful, if I can recognize what's going on in their world, then I can better serve them through recognizing what's going on over there and then being able to address that. I'll give you one example. So I'll give you so there's a thing called IQs, and in IQs, I can pay attention to you when I have my glasses on, and I can see sometimes I was on a conversation with a young lady 2 days ago, and I asked her a question. She was intending to invest, and I was asking her what's important to you about that, what's important to you about that, and really get to the root cause of what she wanted to do. And I asked her a question, then I stopped and I said, well, imagine yourself right now that you've already have that. And when I said that to her, her eyes went up that way. I'm not sure how this is reflecting backwards with the cameras and everything yet.
To the right.
Okay, that's what I was intending right there. Okay, so when her eyes went up like that, what I recognized was that she was visually constructing. And what that means is that she had no memory of what she was what I was intending for her to envision.
She was creating.
She was creating, correct. So because I recognized that she was creating, I also recognized that I made some assumptions. That doesn't mean my assumptions were correct. Yet I could start making assumptions to say, okay, she comes from a life and she's a young lady and she's never had that experience of something of what she wants to have. And I was able to identify that in just a nanosecond just by paying attention.
It's so important to have that active listening thing. I mean, just for people who have not done neuro-linguistic program, to have the active listening portion of communication. You know, I'm a big proponent and coach of communication. So that's where I got involved with neuro-linguistics, is to read people's bodies, to know when I'm speaking their language and when they're actually catching what I'm saying and things of that nature. And I've been accused, so you're manipulating me. I don't know, I'm not manipulating you. I'm reading you. I'm actually making this communication together far easier so we don't have to struggle and miss. I'm actually meeting you more than halfway. And so that's why I loved and wanted you on, because the basis of all human nature is communication. And people forget, and especially in this world of COVID where we're doing so many things online, this human body in front of this camera is saying so much more than the words coming out of my mouth. And that's why I wanted you on the show, because I want people to realize that body language is so much more than what you're wearing. It's you, it's your essence. It's what your subconscious is saying. It's what you really are. It's showing.
Yeah. Michelle, it's your energy. It's your energy. It's you could ask somebody a question, they could say yes, and it's a no. And if you just pay attention to the words, you're going to hear yes. Yet when you really are paying attention and you say something to somebody and they say yes, yet their energy is saying no, you could stop the conversation right there and you can say, I hear you saying yes, yet I'm hearing you say no. Am I hearing correctly? Can you tell me more about that? And then you could dig into it. You could dive deeper into the communication and really truly understand. So you go back to the word manipulation. It's not about manipulation at all. It's about speaking another's language, because we all speak different languages. Now, and I'm not talking about a different language in regards to,
location and country. Yeah.
Location and country. I'm talking about the fact that when I started, I shared with you about about how we create our lives through our own lenses. Well, that life that you create through your lens is your language. And so when I can speak to you in your language and more importantly, listen to you to the best of my ability in your language, and as I said, to the best of my ability, because I do have my own lenses, yet I can recognize that I have my own lenses, intend to put them aside, and then truly be with you. Now I can get to the root cause of really having a meaningful connection so that I can be, I can serve you, I can be a resource for you, and I can help you in whatever way. This could be in business and sales and relationship, whatever it is that's important, because it's all about just human connection.
Yeah, and it's so magical. Really, that's why I asked you on. I asked you on because I want people to see that it's more than just words. And I want to break out in the song, what are words for? No, it's your body, it's your energy, it's who you are. And your words can deceive even you. And that's why it's so important to understand body language. And we've got people popping in and saying hello and good morning and things like that. Thank you, Evelyn. Hello, good morning. And to Richard, thank you. He was my first guest on Tuesday. And Denim Pearls, my co-host, is talking to us. Hello, rock on, Brian, rock on. And Michael, my husband, says hello. And he loves the Pac-Man machine behind you.
Michael, I'm going to invite you and Michelle over to play Miss Pac-Man.
We're in.
All right. Fantastic.
But yes, it's just so exciting to have you on and be able to talk about body. I mean, and what your eyes are doing. And I'm so terrible at explaining what I do when I do it. It is what I do. So when people are talking to me and I see their eyes look away, I'm like, so let's talk a little bit. And maybe do you want to? I mean, I do things like that because I see their eyes move or I see their body turn ever so slightly. And I'm like, what are you doing? Are you a mind reader? No.
I'll give you an example when you talk about the body shift. So
yeah.
if you're ever like at a cocktail party or you're at a networking event or whatever the case may be, pay attention to your own body. And then, you may notice this in others as well. Yet if my feet are facing like that, like, so if you and I are talking, but you and I are talking and I'm like that, then I know I'm engaged in the conversation. However, if one of my feet is facing outward, then that means that subconsciously, yes, I'm not engaged in this conversation anymore. And it's such a subtle body cue. And I've actually noticed it more in me than in others. When I'm in a conversation and I recognize that my foot goes like that and I say, okay, am I paying attention? And I'm like, oh no, let me reset. Let me pay attention because this is an important person I'm communicating with. And I recognize that because I know that that's my subconscious that's saying whatever it is that, hey, I want to go get a cup of coffee or I'm bored with the conversation or whatever the case may be. There's a donut over there. I'm like, hey, donut, and like whatever the case may be. Right, something's calling me over there, and so that's why you have to pay attention to yourself as well.
Oh, most definitely. So for those of you who are watching, I want you to pay attention to your feet, especially when we start gathering again, because I purposely watch my feet. And what happens is people will see me in a networking group or something, or a meeting or whatever, a gathering, and they'll come, and lots of people will come, and they'll be standing in front of me, and they close their feet off. I want you to look down. They close their feet out, and what happens is no one else can break into the circle. No one can come in, no one can talk. So what I always do is I purposely turn my foot out. I turn my foot out so it's an opening for someone to come in. And I do it very subtly, but it's usually when you can see someone walking from the outskirts, they really, really want to come in, but they don't want to interrupt because it's such an intense conversation. I'll open my foot up. So think about what you do with your feet the next time you're gathering. And it actually kind of works in the virtual world too. When you're on a call like this and your body shifts, you are subconsciously wanting to leave.
I'm going to be like this the rest of the time.
I know, stay right here. But that's what's so cool about body language. And people think I'm a little nuts because I always talk about body language. It's over 80% of your communication. Focus on your body language and your intonation, and you've got the world in your hands. I mean, I'm a speech coach. I teach people how to speak on stage, and it's your body language and your voice. It's that energy that comes out of you. And when you said Neuro-Linguistic, I'm like, ooh. Let's pick on Dan. Let's bring him in and let's learn from him. Now, I have to pick on you a little bit, and I'll pick on you after the commercial, but I want to know more about your background because I cyber stalked you, and you are doing huge things in the DC area and homes. You're all over TV and the news. You do a lot. You do investing, and I see all of that as that successfulness in that comes from you understanding you. Now, when you think about what our show does, what Mental Shift does, it's about that mental shift you had in your life that triggered you to realize this is where I am, this is what I want, this is what I'm really gonna get, that kind of thing, that mental shift you had in your life to be driven to what you did. Because so many people get stuck where they are, say, this is where I am, this is my bubble, and this is where I stay. I can't reach out of that. But you did so much more than where you were. You were in this realtor world, but you went writing your book, you did your Neuro-Linguistic, you did a lot. So I'm going to go deeper into that later after our commercial. But
happy to share.
I just wanted to warn you before we did that, because it's important for the audience to realize that we aren't, how was I going to say this? We aren't all stuck where we start. We decide when we go to college that we're going to do this, and we're like 17. We don't have a clue what we want. And then we get stuck in it because we do, well, I spent so much money in my degree and I'm never going to leave this, and this is where I am, and I hate this. And I want to show people that you are what you choose to be and what you choose to learn and what you want to grow to. And at TNC, the new channel, we talk about helping people find the new them, to not be stuck in the ruts, to not be condemned into whatever decision they made when they were 16, right? And I thought you were such a perfect example of that, because you've grown beyond when I'm a real estate agent, you would think that would be it. But you were so much more, and you've done so much more. So after we come back from our commercial, I would like to talk about that. So get your brain ready, because we are going to pick into Dan's brain. This Welcome back, and I'd like to share with you some of the many TNC shows to help you see the new you. Be sure to stay tuned and tune in to our YouTube channel and to our Facebook. We have The Big Picture Monday through Friday at 7 p.m., Cybernext Wednesdays at noon, HR Hotline Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 4 p.m., Tech U on Fridays at 2:30 p.m., Family Business Saturday at 4, Market Leaders Tuesday and Saturday at 5:30, The Fourth Project Saturdays at 10 p.m., Well Home Tuesdays and Saturdays at 2:30, USA Pang Beauty Saturday at 5:30, Couple Goals at Wednesday at 5:30, COVID Stories Saturday at 10:30, Awesome Day on Mondays at 2:30, U-Turn on Thursdays at 10:30, and Women at Work Saturdays at 9 a.m. The Homebuyer Monday and Thursday at 4 p.m. Healthline Wednesdays at 4 p.m. The Puppet Stories on Monday at 5:30. Foreign Affairs Tuesdays at 10:30. TNC Marketplace Thursday and Friday at 10 p.m. Danny Art Show on Friday at 5:30 p.m. Yo La Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Win Within Saturday at 8:30 p.m. TNC The Talk Mondays at noon, and After Shift Wednesday and Friday at 8:30 p.m. Please stay tuned or tune in to be inspired, encouraged, and to learn to see the new you. And now back to our guests. Where are you? There you are.
Here I am.
I lost you for a little bit. Well, what's really neat about the TNC channel is that we have a little bit of everything for everyone. And I wanted to make sure I said this out loud. The times I gave are Philippine times. So those of you in the United States, we are like 16 to 18 hours behind the Philippines. So we are live here with Mental Shift Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time. But this is actually airing in the Philippines Wednesday and Friday morning at 10 a.m. So keep in mind when you're looking at our shows, go to our YouTube channel, find what that really clicks with you, and then convert it to the time so that you can watch live. And that's what's magical, to be able to communicate with the host and the guest while they're live on the air. So welcome back, Dan. Are you ready for me to pick on your brain?
Please, I welcome it.
You welcome it. Glutton for punishment he is. So what I wanted to ask more about is, when did you decide to be a realtor? And what was the mental shift that brought you to do more than just be, I'm just a realtor? I mean, when did you figure out those 10 steps that you created? That's really what I'm after. What brought you to that?
Well, in 2007, I was a waiter at a steakhouse, a high-end steakhouse in Washington DC.
Okay.
And I had been waiting tables ever since I got out of the United States military, and that was in 1995. And so for a long period of time, I was lost in my journey, and I really just didn't know where or how to get to where I thought I needed to be or thought to go. And what I knew was that I was somebody that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to be a business owner. I wanted to help people, to be able to help them to solve their problems, to be able to help them to achieve their goals. And I had no idea how to do this. You know, I'm just working like 18 hours a day. And there was another thing that was really holding me back, which was, at the time, I was an active alcoholic. And so in 2005, I woke up one morning on the bathroom floor of our townhome in Alexandria, Virginia. And I my kidneys were piercing with pain. I was dehydrated to the extent that you could just never even imagine. And I was physically and emotionally and mentally and spiritually in pain. And on that morning, I made a decision that I would never drink again. And I have not. And that's been almost 16 years ago.
Good job.
Thank you. And so that was in 2005. At this time, I was still waiting tables. I went to an alcohol rehab, and I spent a lot of time in improving my life and say, okay, I know what I want. I don't know how to get there. And so I was seeking, during those 2 years, during that period from 2005 to 2007, I was seeking, what's next? What do I do? How do I do this? And I went, I met with business owners. I had coffee. I had lunches. I went to job fairs, or not job fairs, but franchise fairs where there were some franchises. What I found was it would take me about $250,000 to $500,000 United States dollars, a lot of money for me to start a business or to buy a business. And a waiter at this time, I didn't have the money. One day, my friend Bill we were scooping butters into the little ramekins, and Bill knew I was seeking, something different. Excuse me, and he looked at me and said, Dan, have you ever considered real estate sales? Because at this time, I had started investing in real estate, and the guys around the restaurant, they all sort of relied on me. They were asking me for advice on investing and that type of things, and I'd help them. And I said to Bill, I said, no, I've really never had. And so that's when I decided to get my real estate license. Now, in the United States in 2007, and I'm pretty sure this is going on in much of the world, there was an incredible crash in the market, in the real estate market. Foreclosures were prevalent. People were behind on their mortgage. It was one of the worst financial times in many, many years. And so I'm getting involved into a new business at a time that others would probably say that's not a great thing to do. So November 2007, I got my real estate license, and I had 0 closings for my first 6 months of my career. I was still working Saturday and Sundays at the restaurant, and I thought I was going to be working enough to be able to continue paying my bills, but the money was running short. And so I remember April 2008, I went to meet with my broker who ran the brokerage, and her name was Karen. I said, Karen, I need help. Like, I can't keep doing this. She said, Dan, just keep doing what you're doing. I said, well, but I'm getting ready to pay my mortgage on my credit card. Like, what do you mean keep doing what you're doing? She's like, just trust yourself. Just trust yourself. And I did. And I had success not too long after that. And I had enough success, in fact, so this was 6 months after I got my real estate license, that 12 months from then, this is 18 months after I got my license, I was able to save up enough money to buy the brokerage that I had worked for.
Wow. And
so that was really just about following systems. It was about minimizing, because instead of intending to do 27 things to find business, I did 2 or 3. And so I just got smart, and I got disciplined, and I simplified what I was doing. And I had a lot of I don't like to say success. I had results that helped me to buy the brokerage. So I owned that brokerage for 10 years. And while I owned that brokerage, I had ups, I had downs. I learned so much from the agents that I led. I had about 150 agents that worked for me at the time. And I learned a lot from these guys and ladies. And at the end of it, I had to sell the brokerage because I made some bad business decisions. And those bad business decisions put me in a financial position with the cash flow of the business that I had to sell. And I did so about a little bit more than 2 years ago. At this time, I was several $100,000 below zero. I took the time, I wrote the book Real Estate Evolution, because I had talked to a mentor, and I asked my mentor, I said, okay, I know that I'm on to this next stage of my journey, so like, help me. And he said, tell your story, Dan. He said, tell what you have done and share that, because you have an amount of experience and knowledge in what you do, and share that with others. And that's what caused me to write the book, Real Estate Evolution. It took me 13 months, 3 hours a day, every single day, 0 days off, not Christmas, not New Year's, not a single day off. I'd wake up at 3:30 in the morning, and I'd write from 3:30 to 6:30. It's really more like from 4 to 7 because I'd have to sort of wake up first. And so I did that for 13 months. And at the end of that, I wrote the book, and I started a new business to add on to my sales business at this point, which is the consistent predictable income community, which was for coaching for salespeople.
Well,
and I was able to get out of that debt as well. So in less than 2 years, I was able to get out of $200,000 plus debt, and I was able to then get back above zero, which is where I'm gratefully positioned now, and did some of that during a pandemic.
And you did it while you were a recovering alcoholic, okay? So many people would have just stopped at that point and never done anything else. See, that's the other part about you that's so remarkable that I want you on. You hit rock bottom, crawled yourself back up, and then hit rock bottom, and then crawled yourself back up. And then with this pandemic, you're still successful. And that's part of the story I wanted people to hear from you, because here's this happy, smiling man with a Pac-Man machine behind him and a kitty cat walking behind. He is a very secure man, and he's successful in what he does, but he's hit rock bottom. Now, how many times have you been in whatever your situation in life is, and you do, that's it, I'm done, I hit the bottom, that's not for me. What Dan saw was, okay, this alcohol isn't for me, but I want more. And he kept moving. Okay, he started doing his real estate. Yeah, he didn't do all that great that first year, but he didn't give up. And he found the mentor that kept him going on the right track so that he could be successful. What are you doing in your world that you're giving up on? Giving up on you. Dan did not give up on himself. And when he did start giving up on himself, people around him, he had a good team around him that helped him see who he was and what he was capable of. Who are you surrounded by? Who do you need around you to help you become the best version of you? You know, someone like Dan, he's a coach. He helps people with mindset. You know, there are a lot of coaches out there, mentors that will help you through whatever your bad time is so that you can have a better tomorrow. Don't stay where you are, miserable. Find a way out. Find your way out. Dan found his way out twice. Right, Dan?
Oh, but I'd say I found my way out once. The second time, that when I was financially in a really, really big hole, I was the wealthiest man in the world. And I had never, because I had, it was the only time that I was really lost was when I was seeking my sobriety. Mm-hmm. When I was financially, before I sold the business that I had, before I sold the brokerage, I was hurting. I was in pain because it was like I didn't see the way out. Okay. But once I got to that point where I made the decision to say, okay, this is what I need to do, I did it. And I was left in a really bad spot. But you couldn't have told me I wasn't a rich man at that moment. There's no way. There's no way that you could have told me I wasn't a rich man at that moment, because to me, rich is about who we choose to be. Okay, it's about say, okay, wow, this is less than ideal. Well, let me have fun and figure out how to get out of it. No worries, right? You know, I mean, I don't want to dismiss it to say like no worries, right? I mean, I had worries, but I had an understanding that it was just a challenge. It's just like, I will challenge anybody that's watching this right now to a Miss Pac-Man game. I will win. Okay. So you never get suckered into that bet where the guy actually has the machine.
Okay. When you own the machine, I am not betting with you.
Yeah. The reason why I say that is because I figured out how to go on that pathway. Okay. I unlocked the clues. And so when I was just not even too much longer than 2 years ago, when I was at that position in my life, I knew that I had within me the ability to figure it out. You know, I wanted to go back to something else that you said before, Michelle, about the circumstance, about, you know, we all experience this circumstance. There is a pandemic in the world, and God willing, that's really, really close to going away. 12 miles from where I sit right now, 36 hours ago, there was an insurrection in my country. Okay, that was literally 12 miles from where I'm sitting right now. Okay, now things happen. You cannot control what happens. What you can control is who you choose to be in the midst of things happening.
Yes.
If there's a storm outside, it is going to rain, whether if I like it or not. Can I bring an umbrella? That's what we have choice over. And so rather than, you know, if you go back to like looking at energy and looking at energy, the lowest forms of energy is victim. And the form of energy that resides right above victim is anger. The highest form of energy is passion and gratitude. And so even when you're facing things, like I faced some struggles throughout my life and throughout my business career that I didn't tell you every single challenge that I had. I've had tons of challenges. Every single time I've had a business challenge, I've sat there and I've truly said, you know what? I don't want to be here right now, yet I am so grateful that I am, so that I can learn from this and never, ever, ever experience this again, because I will learn from this and not take the same actions that cause this result to occur. And so that's about having choice about who you choose to be. And we don't, even if it's something that's not ideal outside of you, yes, take the time to recognize pain. Take the time to recognize sad things that are not ideal. Like, take the time there.
Yeah.
But choose to then move on.
Yeah. Be human. Give yourself that moment of why me, and then decide, make a choice. These are, there's what Byron Katie says, there's 3 types of control in this world: my control, the other person's control, and God and the universe's. And go ahead, do the why me pity party for just a couple of minutes or a day if you need it. And then say, okay, here are my choices. I can go out in the rain and get wet and be miserable and be cold, or I can bring an umbrella and only get my feet wet, or I can decide not to go outside, or I can decide, whatever your choice is, it's
or
your
go play in the puddles.
Yeah, you can. Some of us like to play in the puddles. So it's really a choice. Everything that happens to you. I mean, for those of you who know any of my past, I have a brain injury. I'm missing 4 areas of my brain. I've got 4 sections missing. And I could say, woe is me, I don't remember years of my life. Or I can say, hey, I got a life. Let's look at tomorrow. Let's live in today. And so that's what I do. So what are you doing in your world? Are you sitting in that pity? Are you sitting in that what can I not do? Or are you looking for the options that you can? Sometimes it's the only thing that you can do. No one else may have done it before. It might be just you. So make your own path. Make your own way out of whatever you're in right now. A lot of people are, with the COVID thing, are experiencing a lot of angst. And in America, yesterday was serious angst. And it was a choice. We could have, like with you at 12 miles away, you could have gotten your car, went over there and went crazy with everybody, or fought people. Or you could stay in your world and say, how can I help my own world? How can I keep my place safe, my people safe, and my people calm? We still have a business to run. We still have lives to help. I mean, there were choices. My choice was turn off all social media because I live in Colorado.
Yeah.
So it's all a choice. And then you meet so many people who are so full of everyone else's pain and everyone else's problems. And they're miserable, and they start drinking and they start taking drugs. And I'm like, why are you doing that? Oh, because there's just so much terrible things in this world. Okay, it's in the world. Is it at your door? Is it holding on to you? Is it forcing you to do what you're doing? No. Then why are you doing it? How do you feel? Why would you want to feel that way? And so I always want to pull it back as I know the world, things are going crazy, but 20 years ago, Like when we got out of the military, we didn't have the internet. We didn't know anything was happening on the other side of the world. We didn't even know things were happening in Washington, DC when we weren't living there, unless someone told us on the 6 o'clock news. The only reason we knew everything was happening is because social media, there are people with cameras everywhere. So we instantly feel the angst of the world because we see the world instantaneously. So remember, you choose what you bring into your world, just like you choose the people you surround yourself with. Do you have a good team of people around you? Or do you have people who bring you down and make you feel less than you are? I got a little philosophical there for a little bit.
I love it. Yes.
But it's all choices, and it goes back to the whole neuro-linguistic programming. Where we look at people and we don't understand body language and we think, oh, they love us. No, they're walking away from you and they're not comfortable, and neither are you. Why are you forcing yourself this direction? And there's so many things about human nature and energy that we as humans, general humans, have shut off. And it's part of our nature. And they do, oh, but kitty cats, they're so sweet. And puppies love me, because they know energy. They are coming to your energy. If you were angstily ridden, if you're full of angst, you would see a dog come and try to calm you down, or a cat will calm you down, because they're like, hey, it's not worth sitting at that level. Bring down your energy, or you're messing me up. I want to eat. So it's such a lesson in body and energy and understanding human nature and realizing that you're human, it's your nature, and you can control it.
It's beautiful, Michelle.
Dan's like, Michelle, woo! He can't wait to beat me on Pac-Man when we go out to DC.
Let's do it.
But really, I was so happy that you jumped on board when I said, hey, come on to my show. I really want to share what you do. Because yes, your book is on sale. Can they get it anywhere, or do they have to go to a particular site for you?
You can find it on Amazon. It's called Real Estate Evolution, and it is it's a book for more than just real estate agents. It's also for people that because I share my personal journey in there, and so people that want to find how to be the best versions of themselves, and for salespeople, entrepreneurs. And it's a great book of a step-by-step guide on how to get from wherever you are to wherever you want to be.
Yeah, and no matter where you are in the world, with your 10-step guide to consistent and predictable income.
I started in the book with the first chapter in the book's called Flourish. And so I start with Flourish because I believe it's about who you are going to choose to be. It's really the foundation. And so once you get, life's all just about choices. We've talked about that, right? I go through some very specific models of so it's all about models and systems, right? So we're just not winging it. And this can be scientifically shown, where in the book, I go through what's called the self-coaching model. And the self-coaching model is one where you can, whatever your circumstance is. So I go about it where I change circumstance to programming. So whatever your circumstances is, you're going to have a thought about it. And then whatever that thought is, then you're going to have feelings about it. Those feelings, you're going to then take actions. And then from those actions, you're going to create results. And then those results will create a new circumstance. Okay, and so when you can understand this, and I changed in the book circumstance to programming, because it goes back to, Michelle, I've heard you talk about, who are you surrounding yourself with? Well, that is who you are surrounding yourself with right now feeds into your programming, and then that feeds into your thoughts. Because if you're surrounding yourself with people that are going to inspire you, that are going to lift you up, that are going to pull you up, that are going to push you when it's appropriate, that are going to root for you and truly care for you, then what kind of thoughts are you going to have? You're going to have fantastic thoughts. And then what kind of feelings you're going to have? You're going to feel that love. You're going to feel that support. And then when you have that program leads to the thoughts, lead to those fantastic feelings, the actions that you're going to take are going to be actions that a loved person will take, will then create results that you deserve. Now, in the same way,
speaking about that, hold that thought. We got to get to a commercial.
Let's do it.
But what I want to say is, when you think about what Dan just talked about your circle and the people and those who will help you go to another level and be the better version of you, the best version of you, and find the new you, it's on TNC. We have so many shows. So please watch this commercial, and we'll come back and we'll have some final thoughts with Dan. Welcome back. And my guest today is Dan Rochon. And we've been talking about, really the mental shift he's had in life and how he wrote a book that will help people get through their mental shift also. Dan, where are you? Come on back.
Here I am.
There you are. Now, did I let you? I know I interrupted you for our commercial. So do you want to finish your thought? And then I'm going to ask you to leave us with a thought.
Just to make sure that we're clear, because what I was sharing with you was a piece of who you surround yourself with, how that can impact your results in life, negative or positive. It can also do so negatively.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's just something for the listeners and viewers that I'm going to encourage for you to consider, because it works in a positive manner. It also works in a negative manner.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just reality. So choose. And that's my encouragement to you.
Choose wisely. No, and they can find your book on Amazon, and that's really cool, because it says it's for real estate, but it really isn't. It's really for life. And it's just, he's using it from a perspective, because that's where he was in. So look at the book, go find it. It's on Amazon, and it would behoove you, because the man is he's really a cool guy, and he's gone through a lot of things, and he's made it out of a lot of things. And by sharing his story in that book, it may help you or someone that you love make it through a dark time of their own to be successful and find themselves. Right, Dan?
I hope so. And one of the things that I really want to encourage for you to do, the viewer, is to understand that wherever you are in your life, whatever your struggles may be, and whatever your successes may be, life is just life. And I shared earlier when I mentioned, I say I don't like to use the word success, because I think success is just a perception. I also think that failure is a perception as well. Failure is not a state. Failure is not like a state of being. Okay, you can fail at a task and learn from it. My belief is that the only real true failure is to make a mistake in something and not learn from it. Well, that you failed to learn. Okay, but you can still, that's not fatal. You can still learn, but you just may bang your head across the floor a few times. But mostly,
I was thinking it was the Einstein theory of insanity, right? definition, keep doing the same thing over and over again and wonder why nothing's changing. That's insanity, right? It's really
sure
not
is.
failure. It's insanity. Let's get back up and learn.
Yeah, absolutely. But mostly it's about really understanding that you have the power to be, do, have whatever it is that you want and whatever it is that you desire. And look at the way that I phrased those words. I did so intentionally. I said, I'll say it again, you have the ability and the power to be, do, and have, because it goes in that order. Because it's about who you choose to be first. Because when I was a couple $100,000 in debt financially, I chose to be a wealthy man. And because I chose in my mindset to have wealth, in my wealth of my spirit and my thought and my being, I did the actions that a wealthy man would do. He was in $200,000 worth of debt. And because that's what I did, I had the ability in less than 2 years to be able to create my way out of that debt.
Mm-hmm.
So they go in that order: be, do, have. You may want to write that down.
I already did.
Hey, all right.
Say Dan's final thought: be, do, have. And it's such a simple thing to remember. Be what you want to be who you are, be you. Do what you want to do what you want to create, and then have it, create it, bring it to being. I love that.
I actually wrote it down. It's on my screensaver right here on my phone about who I'm choosing to be, because I know I define who I choose to be. I choose to be charismatic. I choose to attract good people to me. I choose to be authentic. I choose to be vulnerable. I choose to be willing to fail and willing to succeed. Those are some of the things that I choose to be. I also chosen what I choose to do and what I choose to have as well. Yet I understand there's an order to them. It's about who I'm going to be first.
Exactly. I'm going to quote you in my next book. Be, do, have.
Love it. Thank you.
Really good. My next book's coming out in a couple months, so
I'm sure I stole that from somebody else, and we may want to source that correctly.
Okay, I'll source it, but man, it's fun to be you.
It may be, but I don't think so. I can't be responsible for all my thoughts.
Okay, because it's darn good, and it's so simple that you can remember it. I mean,
right.
My quote in my book that I wrote was, life isn't a field of daisies with butterflies or something like that. It's hard. It's difficult. And what it does is it shows us who we truly are and who we really want to be. And mine is so long, it's hard for me to remember it. Not the one who said it, but it's like, woo, be, do, have. I like that. That's really simple. And I need to ask you, what is your very final? I know you just said be, do, have, but what do you want to leave the audience with besides the be, do, have? Because now you told me it's not yours, that you found it somewhere. So what would you like to share?
I didn't say it's not mine. I said I'm not sure if it's mine or not.
Mm-hmm.
I want to encourage for you, and first, thank you for watching this show today, and Michelle, and continue watching these shows on TNC with Michelle, because I know that you're going to be in for a delight. So there's a lot of great stuff that's coming up. So continue to view and continue to watch. What I want to leave you with is I want to leave you with the reminder that every single day you make a choice in your life about who you're about who you are. And every single morning and every single day, I'm going to encourage for you to be aware that your life is about having choice. You can choose to live a life by design, or you can choose to live a life by default. I encourage for you to choose to live a life by design.
Thank you so much, Dan, for joining on with me. And everyone, please follow on to Dan. You'll see his contact information in the description of this show, actually. And I'd like to leave all of you with one. Thank you so much for being with me on my very second episode. And Rich, I saw you on. Thank you for being on my first. For those of you who are following, who continue to follow and will be joining on to TNC to learn and grow and become the better version of you and to find the new you through all of these amazing shows and all these humongously amazing people who are coming onto our shows to share their world and their lives with us. Learn from us, learn from our pain, learn from our growth. And remember, stop apologizing for what you're not. Stop apologizing for what you thought you should be. Be the best version of you and be unapologetically you. Good night, everyone, from Mental Shift. See you every Tuesday and Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time. That is Wednesday and Friday. On the Philippine time, 10 a.m. Wednesday and Friday. So hope you join us, and we'll see you again next week, Tuesday. And until then, go to the YouTube channel and catch more of the TNC shows so you can be the new you.